Cook Serve Forever is the newest IP from the creators of the Cook Serve Delicious franchise, and it's got a bit of controversy going with this development that I want to have a quick chat about. I got some positive feedback on my last unscripted video about 6 Days in Fallujah, and because I don't really feel this warrants a long-ass script and hypebeast editing, I'm going to throw some gameplay in the background so you get a good feel for what the game actually is and we can have a conversation. So for the uninitiated, the Cook Serve franchise is kind of like Cooking Mama simplified with a nice injection of stress. The main point of the Cook Serve Delicious games is that you micromanage a food truck. There's call-in orders, you have to prep food for the people that are already waiting at your stops coming up, and some of the people are going to be wanting hot and ready food, so you have to make it on the spot when you get there. Now, limitations on how many things you can cook at once, how many things you can store, how long they'll last before they're no longer like fresh, that all adds up to you stressing the fuck out because this game is very stressful. Now, Cook Serve Forever got released into early access recently, and it almost immediately got hit with this massive wave of people just shitting on it. Now, regardless of what I'm going to say in the rest of the video, I hate giving the people slamming Cook Serve Forever any credit whatsoever. Because first of all, a lot of the reviews read like salty homophobes, and the other half are just mad the game isn't Cook Serve Delicious 4. And so it's frustrating because they're actually right about the game not being ready yet, but they're right for the wrong reasons. A lot of the problems that people have with this game would have been fixed if they just like read the early access manifesto. The same problem that I had with the 6 Days in Fallujah reviews and everything. People just don't read. I think I'm genuinely like the only person that reads these early access game plans kind of. But in the early access game plan, they make very clear that this is a new IP from the creators of Cook Serve Delicious. I think they were trying to aim themselves towards the comfy, cozy game market, which is totally fair, right? The problem, though, is they changed some gameplay mechanics to accommodate that shift in target audience. And in doing so, they not only lost their original core crowd, they also didn't gain any real new traction. So in Cook Serve Forever, unlike Cook Serve Delicious 3, which is what you would have been watching while I'm talking here, there's a new 4-button system. So in Cook Serve Delicious, a lot of the challenge comes from a lot of managing different things and intaking a lot of information from different points on the screen, right? People are ordering things and there's like 8 variations to every dish, and you got to say, okay, what do they want? How do they want it? Can I get it done in time? And that's kind of where the stress of the gameplay and also the depth of gameplay comes in that game. Now in Cook Serve Forever, there is just 4 buttons. If you're using mouse and keyboard, it is the 4 arrow keys. If you're on a controller like I played, it's the A, B, X, Y, or XO square triangle. So it's the face buttons on a controller. There's really not a lot of variation that can go on within those constraints. And it's less than what I would expect from it, right? So here's the thing. The art direction in game is phenomenal. The cutscenes and the story they added are huge. It's such a good change, and I wish that they'd nailed the gameplay aspect of it, because more accessible does not need to mean simple. The weird part to me is that I never played Cook Serve Delicious before I got access to Cook Serve Forever, right? So I'm not like a longtime fan that's like, these are my problems with the game. I picked up Cook Serve Delicious 3, though, and one of the first things that they introduce you to is, hey, you can turn off the timer in Cook Serve Delicious 3, which already right there, that's an accessibility feature that absolutely would have appealed to the comfy cozy crowd, because there's a game called Potionomics, right? Where it gets like every part of the comfy cozy like potion crafting thing going for it, but they had a really negative response because they have a calendar system in game, and so you can like miss events, or you can't necessarily max out all of your relationships with people. So they responded very negatively to that, and I think if you add the depth of gameplay that Cook Serve Delicious had into Cook Serve Forever and just add a toggle button for it, like that's accessibility right there. That's exactly what the game needs. or if it's not that necessarily, there definitely does need to be some depth of gameplay, because you can only get so much out of 4 face buttons. It only goes so far. They technically have this like progressive difficulty that's supposed to show up. The problem is I chose the most difficult option every single time, and I could count on one hand the number of times that I dropped a combo. There's also a pretty significant lack of need to play, right? So in Cook Serve Delicious 3, you're going for high scores, but also you're requiring currency to upgrade things permanently, right? So you're working towards unlocking new recipes with this currency. You're also working towards making your food truck better, right? Unlocking more serving stations, more cooking stations, all kinds of different things to make your experience easier, but also open up a new level of complexity to the game. That's the kind of thing that keeps you playing. Now, I understand that Cook Serve Forever is early access, but it doesn't have that same kind of thing keeping you going, right? But within the first hour of gameplay, which, by the way, I loved. Like, I had such a good time with it. And I'll talk about this a little bit, but I really hope that the art direction and the music, oh my god, the soundtrack is so good. I hope it doesn't go to waste on a game that just has a mixed review score on Steam and like dies in obscurity, because it's really, really good. But that can't hold up forever, right? And also this could just be because it's not written yet, but like I felt like I wasn't getting story given to me as much as I would have liked, right? And that's a problem, because that's the main thing keeping you playing in Cook Serve Forever at the moment. There's no outside really force or any kind of incentive to keep you going beyond earning the story. And in my experience with games like that, it's not often that they actually succeed, because having to earn story cutscenes with gameplay that's kind of meh, it doesn't really work out too often. Now, I think there is a lot of ways that they could improve the gameplay, but not on their current timeline. So at the moment, they're set up to launch into 1.0 early 2024, and I think that's going to have to change if they're going to change things up. The backlash they received is pretty insane, so I imagine they're going to change it up. But it's kind of sad, because like I said earlier, the general criticism that the game's not there yet is correct, but most of the feedback they're getting is just make the game Cook Serve Delicious again, which doesn't really fly with what they're going for, right? The reality is that they swapped their target audience, and in the process, they lost their OG crowd without gaining a new one. This is the kind of thing that sinks dev teams, and I really hope that's not the case here. Also, really quick, I want to add that the game most definitely costs too much, and I think that's probably not helping either. It costs $30, which even for the end product down the line, like, that's a hefty ask price. Dave the Diver only costs $20 right now, and for the content that you have in this game so far, that's a pretty hefty asking price, and it's probably gatekeeping a lot of the people that might buy your game and like it from actually getting into it in the first place. I really like the changes they did make as far as adding a more in-depth story. The characters are interesting and all really, really well voice acted. The music is phenomenal, and I like there being this overarching plot that's underneath this gameplay, but I really think that at the end of the day, either make a visual novel or add some gameplay, because it needs some kind of wrinkle to keep me going. At the moment, it's just far too simplistic. I don't think just adding more recipes is going to help. I think there needs to be something that changes the way that I have to play the game, because right now it's just not doing it. Best of luck to the devs. It's not an enviable position to be in, and it would be a goddamn shame if the ball and soundtrack and art direction went to waste on a game that just falls into obscurity. That's the deal with Cook Serve Forever, though, and that's all that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. I hope we can all acknowledge that a more measured response from the community would have been better. And also, you know, go and downvote to hell the people that are leaving the homophobic reviews. And like one of them I read was complaining about the game being woke because the main character's gay. Like the existence of a gay character meant the game was woke, and that was an insane claim to me. So who knows? Anyways, that's my current thoughts on the game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've been watching a lot of like existential content lately on YouTube, and it's kind of inspired me to make the opposite. So I have a couple of videos coming down the pipeline that are hopefully a bit more positive and uplifting and kind of funny. So I hope you guys subscribe and stick around for the journey. I'm really trying to make this YouTube thing work. The list of names scrolling across your screen right now is a list of people that are currently recurringly subscribed to my Twitch channel. Twitch.tv/NotAbsolutelySure. Pretty much all of the funding I get from content creation, any kind of financial support or otherwise, gets pushed right back into the content. And I wanted to put this at the end of videos from now on because it matters. And I really appreciate you guys that do show up to the streams, show up with the videos, and all the support across YouTube, across Twitch. It's been awesome lately. So thank you very much for all of that. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.